Everyone's ready? Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our meeting today, Tuesday, June 9th, to order. If you could please stand for a moment of prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. As we gather here today as commissioners and members of Scott Township, we ask that we are ever mindful of each other, opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community that we hold dear, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, acceptance, understanding, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence and build proudly. Let us continue to strive to make a better neighborhood, a better township, and a better world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Denise, please.
Commissioner Judici.
Here.
Commissioner Myers.
Here.
Commissioner Costello. Commissioner Seibel.
Here.
Commissioner Sorkin.
Here.
Commissioner Delfonso.
Here.
Commissioner Sedlak.
Here.
Commissioner Gazda. Commissioner Altman.
Here.
One absent.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, public comments. Are there any public comments on any items that are on the agenda for this evening? Anyone that would like to speak? Sam, did you want to
Yeah.
go ahead and introduce your resident and have him come up?
Larry Thomas is here this evening to speak to us about a couple of things. He had a couple of issues with he wanted to address. If you don't mind, if he can address it. Meeting as opposed to waiting all the way to the end.
No one objects. We're good.
Larry Thompson.
Okay, yeah, Larry, if you could just sign in for us.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Thank you.
I have two issues. The first one we already talked about here, about the parking on Somerville. I've noticed nothing's been done. No, I have not noticed one ticket given out since that meeting till now, and it happens every single night. Not one car, 2 to 3 cars. And it's in a bad spot, and I don't know if we have to have someone have an accident before something's done. First of all, I don't understand why nothing's done about the overnight parking. Now, I understand during the day, that's okay, but we have ordinance against the overnight parking, and it's ridiculous. They're making a mockery of it is what they're doing. So that being said, I mean, are we anywhere with that? I mean, I know they were gonna look into making that no parking. Has anybody done anything since then?
We have to follow up with the police department.
Yeah, so I know Marie and Chief are supposed to meet out there next week to take a look at that. They had some conflicting vacation schedules, and then there were some interceding events that both kept them busy. Some projects we had, some incidents that Chief was involved with, but they intend to be out there next week to take a look at that to see if it would be a fit as far as no parking for a portion of that, where you're talking about, where those couple of cars are there every single day.
Well, I mean, I think if you start giving them a ticket every single day, sooner or later, they're gonna find it's a little,
You would think that might,
but they're not doing it.
Yeah.
I go by every morning and there's never a ticket. I mean, I've seen them before the last meeting, I seen it in 3 on
it
there.
was like, I think 3 days in a row they got them.
And then nothing since.
Yeah.
These aren't residents that like have contacted the police for extended parking on the street.
Not
Because, okay,
Yeah.
just want to make sure. I have a few residents that have done that and
Well, no, I mean, I get with someone staying over, you say the circumstance, not every day.
every day.
Then it's something they won't get.
Yeah.
Every day I'm probably the worst spot of that little stretch of hill, because it's not just about the driving. There's turning up on and from Sylvia both
Yeah.
ways, makes it hard, and those people.
Yeah, it's kind of, they park right till, if you come up Sylvia, right to the left.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm going to the right, it's happy. I go, I look left and I go right and I go, and somebody's in my lane because they're already planning to go around that car. I mean,
And you can't see them.
yeah, you can't, in the hill, you can't see over.
Once Marie and Chief get out there, I'll touch base with you to see what they tell me. Then we can kind of keep progressing from there. But I'll stress what you're saying about, that. But I know you said you had one more thing as well.
Yeah, my other issue is the sewer project going on in my backyard. we were sent a second letter about the survey and how expensive it was. I want to know who gave them the right to go beyond the survey and pile their dirt in my backyard. Now, half of my backyard is trashed for now. I mean, they're trying to grow grass. They had no right to be on my property. There was a variance. The sewer line was on my half of the variance, which was fine. They could have put their dirt on the other half of the variance, on the other side of the street's backyard, which they had the right to do. No, they piled it in five houses in a row on our side. They piled it in our yard. They had no right to do that. No, everyone says, oh, they'll restore it. It's not the point.
Yeah.
That was my yard. I have one spot to put a pool for my grandkids coming in a week, and now I don't, because that's the only flat spot I had. I want to know who gave them permission to do what they did. I've spoke to a company representative. I got nowhere. I spoke to it was Mr. Kelly, is that his name? He came. No one seems interested. That's my property.
Yes.
And I will get every single one of our residents that they did this to. We'll get together. I mean, I want to get this settled because this is ridiculous. They had no right to be in my property. They had every right. I had no problem. I lost a shed out of it because it was on the variance. That's the law. I lost my garden. I had 25 years of dirt that I finally got able to grow stuff because of the clay. Gone. That's okay. It wasn't my right. That was the right of way. My right was disturbed, and that's a problem. I don't know where they got the right to do what they did.
All right, we'll get to the bottom of that.
I need our guy, Mr. Kelly, and I need a representative from the company to come to my house. Because even what they did when they tried to repair it, it was just flat clay, threw seed on it, and threw some netting over it.
What is-
Nothing's growing.
What's your address?
1616 Sillview Drive.
So he's with our engineers who coordinate with the contractors, so
Okay.
they're the best ones to coordinate with.
Yeah, I want them to come to my house and I want to show them what they did to my yard.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, they had every right to do what they did, and that was fine with me. I understand it. But they destroyed my property. That's a different story.
We'll be out to review it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming in
All right.
tonight. All right, any other public comments on any items listed on the agenda tonight? No, okay, we'll move on then to planning, zoning and code enforcement. We'll have the code enforcement update, Mark.
The update for May 2026, we issued 30 permits for a value of $732,000. We issued 60 notices of violation, with 38 of those just for high grass. We have 11 magistrate hearings, 15 rental inspections, 8 building inspections. We issued 1 zoning letter, and we had 0 rate.
Okay. All right, next up, discuss approval of the Alsod plan of lot subdivision plan to divide one lot into 2 as recommended by the planning commission, subject to satisfying the comments of the township engineer review letter dated May 26, 2026, and the following additional conditions. 1, add a note to the subdivision plan that specifies that the existing 15-foot by 15-foot canopy and the vinyl wooden shed are to be raised on parcel 2. Number 2, show the tributary stream on the subdivision plan. 3, execute and record a maintenance agreement for the common access drive that will be shared by the 2 proposed lots. The agreement must be recorded prior to final execution of the subdivision plan by the township. A note shall be added to the subdivision plan that acknowledges the maintenance agreement and specifies the recorded book and page number. You want to add to that, Mark?
This is a 5-acre parcel of property located directly adjacent to the facilities property on Scrubgrass. And what they're proposing to do is to take that one lot and divide it into 2, with the majority of it being vacant property, and the existing house that is there will then sit on the original first lot. They will share a driveway between the 2 lots, which is why there's this maintenance agreement clause that we added as part of our recommendation for the approval. The applicant is here tonight. If there are any additional questions for him, sure to be happy to answer.
Any questions?
Well, I would just, wonder now, the second lot, are there, that's that second lot? Am I allowed to ask that?
I'll ask that question. I
Give an
would
answer.
the property owner to come up and answer that.
Good evening.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Actually, we're planning on building a house,
If you could first.
for shed also, and we're planning on building a house up there, and the first step is we have to divide this into two lots.
I know it's an R1, so that's nice. Okay.
So that, yeah.
If, now you have plans, that's lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. All right, Mark, we're good then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, next up, discuss advertising an ordinance to regulate portable storage containers as recommended by the planning commission.
Everybody should have received, the proposed ordinance. And so what we're looking at doing is advertising. My understanding, we will advertise at least once. For this. And then it can be put on then for approval. Anybody have an opportunity to review the ordinance, if there's any questions, comments?
Any questions for Mark?
So if I'm correct, that this is going to be both for storage and refuse, right?
Correct.
So we'll cover bagsters, dumpsters, such.
Yes, we try to be as inclusive as possible to include everything you possibly think of,
I
and
think,
anything that might come in the future.
don't we have an existing that covers disposal?
We have existing in our zoning ordinance currently.
Okay,
Unfortunately, the police are not able to enforce that.
okay,
This ordinance will allow the police to give citations, and it includes the fines and also imprisonment if necessary.
What's our application fee for this?
I believe it was in there.
like 5, I think.
25, it's on page 4.
4, yeah.
Thank you, so guys.
Okay.
Mark, I haven't had a chance to go through the whole thing yet. Is there an exemption on, is for Glendale where they don't have a place to put pods or storage containers like dumpsters in their yard or driveway? There is no driveways.
No exemptions for anything like that, because Glendale is really the area that we have issues with, because primarily when they put them in, they block the roadways, which doesn't allow, if we had a fire, if we had an emergency, anything like that, those vehicles will not be able to get through on these roadways. So it's very important that in Glendale, they not be allowed to put them in the roads.
Okay, so if somebody's moving or somebody's cleaning out and remodeling, where do they put it?
They use a truck.
Sorry, to clarify the fee, it's $50 for the first application, 25 for each renewal.
You're right, I misread it.
Seems like a lot to, because if you're putting a bagster out, you have to pay a $50 fee in addition to Waste Management's ridiculous pickup fee. That seems like a lot.
Do we know what their pickup fee is?
It varies. It's between 130 and 200. depending on the time of year.
What's the variance? Like what makes the variable, the weight, the,
Depends on when you apply for it. I use them all the time at work.
Oh.
Some of them are 130, some of them are 170. It's based, it's supply and demand.
Okay.
That's on how busy they are.
I'm assuming that $50 is set as something that's commensurate with the amount of time it takes our staff to utilize our approved permit. Take a look at the situation. Is that what we're generally what we're aiming for?
Yeah, so that's the minimum that we have charged for any type of
I
permit.
don't want to see if they have the pods in.
Any other questions for Mark?
So Mark, there's size restrictions. I mean, there's nothing that can say that a Baxter of a certain size could still be placed there, say like in Glendale, because there are no other areas to put it. They would be putting it close to their homes.
We do have size limitations in the ordinance for what size dumpster would be permitted. We do not have anything special for Glendale, allow anything to be placed in the street.
And my concern is people use them like pods if they're doing remodeling, they take everything out, they put it in a pod, or they're moving and they have to put it in a pod to have it taken away. Where do they put it? Just like, I feel like I understand because I've witnessed them being in the road and how hard it is to get around them in Glendale and stuff, but I can't help but think there should be some type of an exemption for a few days if somebody's getting a new roof or something to put that in. But the pods are more, going to be an issue because they can't put their stuff in a truck.
I'm also wondering if there's some wording we can do that would allow something temporary under 7 days to not require a permit. And then
Yeah.
from 7 to 60 days require the permit so that we're not just tacking $50 onto all these short duration things.
The problem that we're running into is that people are doing these without getting the permission, and so they don't know where they're allowed to be placed on. And that's the big issue that we're running into.
I've used bagsters for personal emergencies when my basement flooded, in which case I wouldn't have a time to apply for a permit. But it was gone within 7 days because as soon as I filled it, I put it in for pickup. I think Waste Management is 4 to 5 days. So I mean, I think there needs to be some sort of a leeway there,
Agree.
especially with how restrictive our trash pickup has become and how unserviced it is.
And I do think there are times like with a storm when you have a lot of debris to get rid of. There should be some way that you can get some kind of an exemption for a short period of time, even if you have to require that it be posted ahead of time or, something, letting people know.
I mean, even like Nick saying, something shorter than 7 days. Let's say a family member pass away and you're going to spend the weekend cleaning out the house. I can get a roll-off box in my driveway. Why should I have to go get a permit for 3 days when I'm being in and out before my neighbors?
Absolutely.
Problem. Now, if it's there 2 weeks later, I should be getting a letter and a citation for, junking up the neighborhood with it sitting there unless there's some kind of extenuating circumstance that I've come to an agreement with the township about.
The only problem I have with that is how do we police them?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's $25.
50 for first application, which gets you 60 days and 25 if you extend it.
No, I'm not either.
So if you need it for 120 days, it's 75.
If the
maybe we have permit, $10 7-day permit.
25 and 10 or
Yeah, maybe if it's less than 7 days, it's a free permit and anything else you pay whatever permit fee. Is that something that we can work out, Mark? Does that still service what you need as far as?
that works for me.
Still documents it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Puts it on their radar so they can keep an eye on things, make sure it's taken out when it's supposed to be.
Denise, could we ask Waste Management if they could put it on the Bagster website if they choose a Scott address? And I know it's going to be a challenge with zip codes.
Okay.
That it would alert them to the fact that they need a permit. I know. I think they're going to say this.
This might be a silly question. Are there other companies that have a similar service slash.
I can ask them.
As a dump, as a Bagster. Or is.
Not that I've seen.
Okay, I have no idea.
Yeah, not that I've seen. I think they're, at least in this area. Other areas might have.
I will ask them.
Does that work?
So what I have done is 7 days or less would be free, within the swimming department. 7 to 30 days would be $50 fee, and then extending it $25 for the next month.
I would think that'll, is
Technically 8 to 30 days.
Yes, it would.
that acceptable? Everyone?
What was 8 to 60 days, Mark?
50.
50.
Yeah.
Although I still have an issue, I'm gonna reread this. I have an issue with the Glendale issue, but I'm gonna reread the thing again, see if I can come up with something. I understand your issue.
Well, we need to talk about the legalities of it and what occurred when I first came here. Because
Well, you would know, I don't.
I do.
And as I said, you would know, I don't. You'll have to tell me later, I don't know.
All right, any other notes, comments, questions? No? Okay,
We'll go ahead and make that change. And then the advertising, you can vote on that if you'd like.
all right, next up, discuss appointing Joe Orbovich to the Planning Commission for an additional term to expire August 1st, 2030. I did receive an email from him requesting to remain on the Planning Commission, so unless anybody has any other questions, put that on for a vote. Good. Yep. Okay. All right, Mark, anything else for tonight?
That should be.
All right, thank you. Solicitors report, Ashley, anything for tonight?
I have nothing public for tonight, but I would request an executive session. One of the items we need to discuss is something involving personnel.
Okay, all right, thanks. All right, engineers report, sir, you have the mic.
Yes, good evening, everybody. A few items to go over tonight. First item is we do have a pay request in from Cronin. It's currently under review and approximate amounts $290,000. So we'll have a letter out on that for voting meeting. The next item is discuss approval to bid the CCTV work for 2026. That's for us to prepare specifications and put out for $150,000 worth of CCTV that the township got a grant for. So if it's okay, we put that on for authorization to open bids the end of July that you would consider at your August session.
Yep, any questions? Great.
Next is request for proposals to install additional landscaping at Hope Street. So we did put out RFP for landscaping plan. It's attached to our report. It was to add 2 small fences and then some landscaping around the Hope Street pond. We got 1 bid in today. They were due. Cronin, who's working in the township, for $24,500. $7,200 of that's for the fencing that the residents had requested. I'll look tomorrow, make sure nobody submitted anything late today, and then I'll send out a report.
Is it 24,000
$24,000
for split rim?
No, 7,000 for the split
Oh,
rail,
okay.
and then the landscaping around it is the other 17,000. So pretty close to what we thought. We were thinking around 12,000 on the landscape. And that cleans up the corner that the residents have been complaining about. So this would button that up. The main contractors, to mow back in on Monday, to complete the punch list from their work. They're in the township working. They are still working on the one pond. As soon as they get done with it, they're going to move over to take care of Hope Street. So if the board's okay with that number, I'll get the letter done and the recommendation for the next meeting.
Kevin, did you say that they are coming in, they came in last Monday or they're coming in next Monday?
This coming Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, they are still working on the other 2 ponds.
Okay.
And I will follow up with them at the end of the week, and if that's not happening, I'll let everybody know. Next item is closing out the 2025 contract. So you'll have for your meeting final change order, which was a deduct of $3,393.69. And final pay estimate is the next item for $79,865.34. We had budgeted in the 2025 or 2026 budget the entire amount. So we have to have a deduct change order for the final as-built quantities. They've completed their punch list and we don't have any additional items for them. So that project can be closed out if the board's okay with that.
Everyone good with that?
Next item is discuss approval to prepare application and mast arms for the rapid flashing beacons for the existing crosswalks at Green Tree Road, Ryan Drive, Green Tree Road and Great Oaks Drive, and apply for an Arley grant. So we put in our update based on the last meeting. We scheduled survey crew to go out on June 23rd to pick up all the existing conditions. And then to prepare the application for those rapid beacons. I did review it tonight. Again, I went up and took a look at it. I think when we do that, in addition to the rapid beacons, there's been a report I seen, it's later on the agenda, that PennDOT had done. They looked at some things as far as tree trimming and some other stuff, some cars that may have been parked in the way when they were there along the road. So when we pick up our survey, we're going to document all that existing condition and see with what PennDOT had in there, if it's ever been addressed or not addressed, and then how you address that as part of this work. The other thing is, I do think our traffic unit should just relook at the traffic counts. PennDOT's got to have traffic counts on this and see if anything qualifies for a traffic signal. Because if it does, in the next round of grants, possibly, that's a solution. Or anything else.
I'm pretty sure.
That's been tried.
Absolutely lynch me if we decide to put a traffic signal there. And by the way, it's not Great Oak Drive, it's Green Oak Lane.
Green Oaks, sorry, Green Oak.
Okay, but it's wrong on the agenda.
I just looked at it. So it looks like the crosswalks are at Green Oak
And Ryan.
Right.
or just off of Ryan. It's like,
They're like 10 feet off the actual intersection,
Yes.
yeah.
the crosswalks themselves.
So if you actually signalize the intersection, I think you'd have to move them to the intersection itself.
Yeah, and I think as part of the survey, that's what we're going to look at to see if the current criteria, because they are oddly placed. Do they meet current criteria the way they are, or do they need?
The other question that I would have in the discussion on the RRBs, whether they work or not, I've seen in tourist zones where they have a lot of pedestrians crossing the road, that there's actually, it's a signal activated like for a walk sign, but it actually activates a traffic light. But it only activates when somebody's standing there pushing the button.
Right.
Mhm.
That's how Green Tree.
And that's an actual traffic control device. You get a ticket if you go through it.
Right.
But technically, you should get a ticket if you don't stop for a crosswalk.
True.
Well, if someone's walking through, yeah, that.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does that rely on PennDOT's final approval to have that done?
Yeah, it takes a traffic permit, just like the signal plan, just like a regular signal.
There's been a signal plan at Ryan at least 3 times since I can remember, and it's never gone anywhere. They count the cars and they say that it doesn't warrant it. Then the other thing was accidents within a quarter or 3/4 of the year or something like that. We've never met that either, so that's been tried 3 times at Ryan Drive at least.
I mean, I see
A light up there.
on Pulse Point all the time.
I mean, that was like the big joke when we were talking with one of our constituents that, everybody knows when you grow up on Ryan Drive, when you learn to drive, you make a right. You cannot make a left out of Ryan Drive.
And they tell you to go up in the apartments, but when I was the commissioner, I don't know if you've got it. I used to get
a lot of calls from Carriage Park saying, hey, all your people are coming up here and making it. That's because that's private up there. You're not supposed to be going in there and using it for a turnaround. And they're saying, well, that's what the police are telling them to do. And that's what people are telling them to do. Don't make a left, don't do this. And then the commissioner gets all the grief from Carriage Park. So you should be able to make a left hand. And that is extremely bad. They do 50, 60 miles an hour on Green Tree Road all the time. They pass school buses. They think that's divided highway. It's not a divided highway. They come around that curve. Sometimes the trees are over there. They're doing 50. By the time you even try to make it, it's clear. By the time you try to make an attempt to make the left-hand turn to come out of Ryan, they're there. And they're unforgiving, those people. They just keep flying by.
And I think also, in addition to the overhead, I think we try to put the signs also at the crosswalks with the push button, kind of belt and suspenders for the whole thing. I agree with what Nick said. I think these are work more or work better if they're activated by the push buttons, because we've done those on a few other 4-lane highways, and people pay attention, I think, more whenever it's something that comes on. And that somebody knows to cross, not.
I think Green Trees is activated by a push button.
Yeah, they're all,
Someone pushes the button and all the lights start flashing.
that's what I'm asking for, is push button activated lights for the.
When we come to some signs, like when there's a curve, you can see like it pops up red light ahead and that lights up red. Can we do something similar when there's a pedestrian button pressed that there's a yellow flasher just before this curve? So the
Warning
cars
ahead.
light up, hey, there's somebody gonna be in the crosswalk here, slow your ass down before you get around this corner.
That light was actually a good big thing.
That's a good idea.
Something needs to slow that traffic down, because once they come over that crest of Carriage, it's 50 miles an hour going down there.
Like you said, Kevin, once you see that flashing, it kind of gets your attention
Yeah.
enough. I mean, that might be a split second difference for you slamming on the brakes instead of going through the crosswalk there.
Yeah, when you crest the hill, it's not very long till you're on the next intersection. So it was busy tonight, so it was a good time to look at it. So
The other thing, I'll bring it up again. I mean, the speed limit signs on Green Tree Road are decrepit, non-reflective. They need replaced. Can we please ask PZ if we can get that done? I know they said because we asked for the speed limit to be reduced, it's a township matter, but it's a state road. I mean, come on.
Oh, and if we're gonna ask Daisy anything else about that, could you please tell him or have somebody cut down the foliage at Green Tree Road and Arla Drive, where the light is and the walk sign and what else is there? There's like 4 or 5 other things, but you can't even see it. There's a speed limit sign, but you can't see it because of the foliage.
It's like down over the hillside in the full.
Yeah, it's right there. Can you repeat where that is? Okay.
At Green Tree and Arla.
Thank you.
If my car that picks up street signs before I can read them and shows the speed limit on the dash, can't see it. I mean, it's invisible. So.
Really? Your car does that? Crazy.
My car does that.
Yeah, it scans, it looks for the signs, and then it shows a speed limit right on your dash.
Oh, I would ignore that.
Yes.
Mine's too old.
That's
I would ignore that.
because it picks up construction zones too.
I don't know. Not that lucky. You know, you're getting kicked in the stomach.
Any other questions or comments?
I don't know if that needs on the agenda for approval to prepare that schematic and the permit or not.
It probably did too.
Yeah, I think.
Because we're gonna be spending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
money.
So that'll be an item for the agenda. Next item then is discuss the Scott Park pedestrian improvements. This is a project that we're opened on, and if you go to this large handout that I provided to the board, we'll go to the second sheet. To Denise, she asked if we could prepare a simple color drawing for what supposed to work with the. And when you come in off of Lindsay Road and Park Drive, there he is on the drawing. Speed bumps. Speed bumps. I'll see you've got 4 or 5 of those on the project. 2 of them have crosswalks in them. The one whenever you come in and go to the right on the one way. That's that. And the one straight ahead, right after, that first right. Big pedestrian crossing at that parking lot. The other ones are just, speed humps. The blue is all new concrete sidewalk. So it's at the crossings and then along, Park Drive. And a little connector, to fix at the speed hump. So that grade gets fixed. The green is in the paving, with a, line that delineate the, trail, the walkway versus the actual, one-way paving. So that, section is getting a road diet. So it goes from, 20 feet to 15 feet. 5 feet's going to a trail. The areas in red, talk about this when I talk about the bids. We bid as ad alternates, to the contract because after they had everything put together, I realized those areas were the oldest paving, in the park. And, the line striping gets redone in those areas and we're adding line striping in the green. So I thought it was going to be a really bad idea if we did all this line striping and, new work. And then next year we milled it up and redid the paving. So we got pricing on that. In this bid, as well as I looked at it, if you did a change order to the road bid, that Youngblood's already going to be in the park paving. That's the most economical is the punchline on that. Any questions on that scope of work? Also, the lighted, signs are at the one on Park Drive. So there'll be light up signs that, are solar. And when you hit the button, they come on. Designates the crosswalk. That's the highest speed area. You have 3 speed tables in that area to slow people down. But when you're in the park, that's probably the area people go the fastest. So
Denise, can you ask Scott KV if he has any concerns about the speed tables in responses to the pool?
Yes.
They're up there. With that.
the, project itself, you have 250,000 in a grant, for the project. If you, go to the last 2 pages first, I printed out what gets paved in the park. So the main driveway gets paved coming back, with binder and top. The parking area is the last sheet, gets an 1.5 inch of wearing course. The back parking lot gets paved. The only parking lot, and it's because it's newer than the rest, it's the first or second driveway to the right. That parking lot was paved within the last 10 years. So it is not proposed to be paved. So again, when I looked at sections that weren't being paved versus what this pedestrian was, I strongly recommend that we finish the paving in the park. And Denise and I did a review today of all the projects that were road and storm related to make sure that the budget permits us to award that and do the change order. So if you go to the first sheet, this big one here, you've seen a simpler version of this whenever we looked at the road bids earlier. So the first column is a bid summary. If you go halfway down on the roads, you'll see the 2026 road paving, park paving, Farm Hill Road, that was the change order that we added in to do the bond work. Lindsay Road Phase 1, the payment we made there. Lindsay Road Phase 1, the gas company is going to repave it, no cost to the township. 2025 road program, there was money owed for $79,865. And that work was all part of what was $1 million line item in the budget for the road paving. So that math is good. Storm sewer project, we had $1,282,350 that was awarded. At 1.4 in the budget, and another 400,000 was in a grant. Then the project we're talking about right now tonight, the base bid was 392,675. Grant was 258,227. So the delta there was 234. Come up with in order to do the work in the base bid. We bid 2 ad alternates for that paving work. It was 65,000 and 38. But today I went back and looked at the difference between those ad alternate unit prices for paving and Youngbloods. We save from 65,000 down to 58,000. I had 7,000 worth of base repair. And then the second one was a savings of about $6,000. So recommendation is to award to independent enterprises the base bid, which is all the concrete work and the speed tables, and do a change order to pedestrian or to Youngblood's 2026 road paving for $77,904. The budget that we have available is close to 2 million, and we would be awarding 2.950. So we'd have about 150 grand left in contingency sitting there for everything that I would consider to be roads and the group of projects that the township wanted to. The only project not awarded that we would bid in February was Lindsay Road, phase 3. I put that at the bottom, and it would be 250 to 350, whatever you'd want to do in a 27 budget. I do recommend bidding that early in the year like we did this past year because you're going to get a much better price. It's more detailed work, and you need hungry contractors at that time to get good bid pricing. So we'd have to reject the Lindsay Road Phase 3 bids and then authorize to rebid it in February. But we can double check the budget numbers, but right now things have been holding pretty close to what you had there. I then included also the summary of what is out there that you've awarded. The only other one that's hanging out there is the admin roof for $188,693. Since we opened that bid, you have back and forth on awarding 2 HVAC units, 4 and 5, through CoStar's bid. And that number I put in there for $30,980. In talking with Denise, we recommend awarding those so that the meeting rooms and the library's roof gets done. You get your HVAC units done, reject the bid on the admin, and then rebid it sometime early spring. Maybe same thing, February, we'll put out a joint bid with a bunch of advertisements, one to knock down on the advertising cost. So I would recommend rejecting that and just take care of the first 2 and do that HVAC work.
It does help us to do the HVAC when we do the roof, because then we can have a contiguous curve.
Yes.
Yeah, and it'll be all roofed in together and not piecemeal.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's a really good idea to do that, because if they're giving you problems, now's the time to get them off there and get the new units on.
I know Mr. Kelly might not be able to unmute, but I mean, that is 25 plus, right?
Tom?
He's there.
Yeah, in total, the total bid that they submitted?
No,
The age.
they're the units that we're talking about replacing.
Yeah, the total, I'm pulling it out right now. Hold on a second. The total is $30,980 for both.
Just asking the age of the units.
Oh, the units themselves are 24 years old. And they're still R11. I mean, there's some old units.
So if they lose charge, we're not even gonna be able to recharge them.
Yeah, we've had a problem with one of the heating units on one of the units about 2 years ago. And we're having another issue with unit number 4, I believe it is, right now. So this is the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only other item to update the board on was the liquid index. We've been watching it. It only went up a very slight amount again this month, so it's been holding steady. If you get a request, it's going to be on a very small side versus the high number that we had provided earlier. So that was a bit of good news when it came out this month. And they're moving into pave over the next couple weeks, I would think. Pavers are really early this year coming in, so that'll be a good thing too, because there's less risk that through all this. Any questions from anybody on any of that?
The parking in the park, being that we're updating it, have we ever looked at kind of squaring off that top parking lot? So if you look at, it'd be the back corner opposite of where that shed is. We could probably get almost another 10 spots if we were to cut that straight.
On the right side going in?
Yeah, if you're going in, if you're looking overhead, it would be on the left-hand side. If you're driving into the park all the way on the right-hand side, it kind of curves in.
It does a little curve.
I can't remember exactly what the topography looks like over there, if that's gonna be the reason why it wasn't, I don't know.
I know originally, that's definitely why there was a big drop off.
Okay.
I don't know if there's room to move it out. We can definitely do that if needed. That's not gonna be a big expense, so.
We'll make it square stairs. I mean, we always have parking issues if we're taking a look at it or redoing it one.
Yeah, it is, it's like football shaped.
Yeah,
So, just kind of
that was the toughest.
curves in, like we can get all these spots actually on the other side, and it widens that turnaround there, because people park illegally all the time up there. But
I remember that.
Any other questions or comments?
thank you.
Everyone's good?
Everybody good?
Thank you.
I did also include the last page, what Lindsay Road to base bid in the ad alternates, just so everybody had it. In the future, you'll get a diagram. It's more colored so you can see how the bids are put out, so. I think there's these full size of these, such post them so we can see.
Thank you.
We're moving on to standing committee reports. Finance, Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The only item I have is I want to put on for a vote. East Carnegie has requested its allotment for the payment of the 2026 budget allocation, $48,094. The only thing I had to add on.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, next up, standing committee report, public safety, Kathy?
Yeah, I believe the chief of police has update.
Yeah, I don't know why I still don't know why my name's on here. I don't know anything about this.
And I did check with some other board members. If we want to just remove that,
I don't care, we can do it, but I'm just.
I don't think PennDOT will approve it because they only approve, they are no longer approving installing the mirrors. They're only looking at ones that are already existing.
Well, that's fine. I didn't bring it up, so I don't know where the discussion came from.
I told Denise that I had received one request about Swallow Hill and Sigrid, because that hillside is very hard to see. But that would be in Carnegie Borough.
Yeah.
So that's not
Yeah.
would be ours.
I don't know where it came from.
Okay.
But that, I mean, that is impossible to see people coming up that hill.
So
Carnegie pulled
okay,
it.
I'll take it off. Yep. Off it goes. Thank you.
Well, good evening again.
Good evening.
Hi, Chief.
I'll be brief. Month of May, we had 778 calls for service, 422 reports filed, 9 arrests, 42 citations issued. Police social worker had 2 months with us in May. And in those, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. Heck of a 2 weeks.
She had 9 cases in those 2 weeks. 5 are closed, 4 are still open, and she's already got, in June, she's got a bunch that she's already been hit with. She completed her 2-week training in Hampton, and she actually got a wide array of experience up there. She got to do pretty much everything. And within her first 2 weeks here, she got thrown with the fire. There was a lot of big things. So she's really got some good experience right out of the gate, unfortunately. As you saw tonight, we took delivery of the mobile command center, and it will be on display for the public on Public Safety Day. That is June 20th, 11 to 2 in Scott Park. So we welcome everyone to come out and check it out and take a tour and learn a little bit about its capabilities.
I want to drive it. I want to drive it around.
Okay.
Okay.
No. He doesn't get to drive it if I don't get to drive it.
You can drive with me. We can go over. I was telling him, does anyone remember the movie Stripes?
It says EM50 on the back of it.
I know. I want to know where the machine guns are.
We don't have enough ammo.
Now we gotta increase that budget.
Ammo is.
We'll get you more bullets for that.
Okay. Any questions for me? Thank you very much.
Kathy?
Thank you. Discuss ratifying approval of life flight landing in the large ball field at Scott Park on June 20th as part of Public Safety Day. They just heard today that they will be there if there's no emergencies. So if there's no objection, I'd like to have that put on the agenda to ratify.
No problem.
Yeah.
Didn't we change that so they could land anytime?
The ordinance still asks that the board gives approval.
So in an emergency, can the fire chiefs give that approval?
We have this conversation almost like every other year.
They might think about it, so
We'd have to change the ordinance, which means you guys would have to advertise it. Maybe
We've done it for
not worth the cost, but yeah, worth.
You know, we could talk to our emergency management.
I think that's the answer.
Okay. There you go.
See what they would recommend.
Yep.
Okay, discuss reviewing the traffic study previously performed by PennDOT for the intersections of Oak and the possibility of requesting a traffic study for the intersection of Green Tree Road and Ryan Drive. Kevin already touched on that. And they will be there June 23rd, Kevin,
Yes,
traffic study.
yes, they'll be there to survey all the existing conditions on the 23rd.
When was this traffic study from? Sorry, safe to say December 22nd, 2022. One of the recommendations is replace faded 35-mile-an-hour speed limit sign along Green Tree Road at half-mile increments approaching Green Oak Lane from both directions. We've had that for 4 years. If DZ can't get it done, we just have to do it.
Okay, discuss traffic on Kerr Road. Yes, Commissioner Sorkin.
Yeah, I received a complaint from one of my residents concerning the lines being so badly worn away. And so I talked to Denise and Tom. And so Tom did give me an estimate, did get an estimate together to have the stripe lines repainted. And then I also had Tom work with Bert, I guess, sent people out to remove all the vegetation that was along the side of the road. And it has really helped. I mean, the sight distance is much better now just with all that being done. So I would hope that the township would keep up with that. So I kind of wondered if I could get approval to have the lines repainted. I know that there's a $3,000 cost to this. And then I wondered also, being as they're working with Ryan Drive and the traffic engine with the traffic study, could we get for a low cost or no cost for PennDOT to look at Kerr Road and just give a general, just like they did with Ryan? I mean, we're not talking big improvements, but just looking at it and seeing perhaps little things that you could do to make that intersection better or not. Because it really, there's a lot of people that go up and down that road. It's a shortcut and it takes a lot of traffic off of the rest of Lindsay. So residential areas down below aren't getting all these cars. And I counted 6 cars today when I was coming up at 3 o'clock.
For them to look at it.
So I don't know, there's just issues with it. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah, I think the big thing is ask the district to do it. If they come back with recommendations, they have an expectation that you're going to implement them. So it's a little bit of a slippery slope. In this case, they're not going to come back and recommend a signal or anything. So it's worthwhile. They do it for free. It may take them a little bit.
Hardly think that they would put a signal there. I think they wouldn't find the traffic count enough to put a signal. And I don't really think they would. You can't close the road. There's too many houses along there on both sides. I don't think that's an issue, and I don't think the township needs to spend thousands of dollars. But there might be some small things that we could just do. A few signs, some signage, a blinking light, a warning about people. Particularly, the hardest part is when you're coming up from the municipal building towards Denny's, and they're making a right-hand turn because they want to go up Old Green Tree Road. So they cut right across, and then the people coming down Kerr, don't see them coming and they don't see the people on Kerr. And then they cut across at an angle. And I've had a couple of, I've seen a couple of times when people have gotten very close to being hit.
We can ask PennDOT to take a look at
See
that.
what they want, some small things. And I know we don't want to spend thousands of dollars when we're doing the whole intersection.
Small things are thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Jane, are you asking the board to put the line striping on the agenda for approval?
Yes, please.
3,000? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Discuss removing parking on Spicknard Way on Mondays to allow for waste truck access and installing no parking signs, 2 parcels in from the intersection with magazines. Commissioner Morris? Yes, we had trouble last week with the garbage truck not able to make the turn from Magazine. It's one way onto Spicknard between Magazine and Locust Street. Therefore, everybody got missed on that whole street. So, and with Denise and I went back and forth with Waste Management trying to get them to resolve it, come out and get it. Eventually they did, but I don't know that they finished picking up bulk. However, the reason they couldn't get in is because there was a car parked there and they couldn't make the bend. So I know in another alley above that one, we have put a sign up saying no parking here to corner on Mondays. And I'm just thinking maybe that would eliminate the problem. So we're not going back and forth with Waste Management and these people getting their garbage picked up. It didn't get picked up till Friday.
If we're gonna do that, can we add the cul-de-sacs on Orchard Spring for the same reason?
Yeah.
Or the letter that you sent out?
Yeah.
My only concern would be the cost of the signs if on the next trash bid our pickup day changes.
Sorry, what was that, Jane?
You think it's going to change? It's been Mondays for years.
If you change vendors, it could, I mean, somebody might not have the ability unless you put it in the bid requirement that it stays Monday.
I mean, I can't imagine that the signs are that much, but
Yeah.
one side has driveways, but they park on the street anyway. And this picture I got, they were like pretty far out into the street. But if you eliminate, it's a narrow alley, you got parking on both sides. There's no way that truck's going through there.
I guess I'm just hopeful we don't get Waste Management again. Sorry.
Wishful think.
We actually had Mondays with the other company as well.
Okay.
So.
Are we good? Kathy, anything else for tonight?
Yeah, we did hold a public safety meeting on June 2nd with the management and council in Carriage Park. And all the fire chiefs and the chief of STEMS was there. Discussion was mostly about the emergency plan that they have in place, the way they communicate with their residents and code enforcement, and problems with the emergency departments gaining access to apartments in emergency. I think that the fire chiefs, all the chiefs were very satisfied with the results that they got, and Carriage Park seemed very willing to work with code enforcement on any issues that came up. As far as holding a meeting with the other complexes, we really didn't settle that.
The fire chiefs did not feel that it was necessary. They felt that they had a
Right.
good rapport and have worked with the other facilities, particularly they were saying any of the hospital type places, Juniper and so forth, that they have their own requirements. They actually do a fire drill once a year with the fire departments, and then they have their state requirements. So they felt really good about those facilities. And then the other apartment complexes, they also felt they had good access and communication with. It was just the Carriage Park. Now, I think the good news that they informed us is that it is their intent. They have 3 high-rise buildings, and it's their intent to replace the elevators in all 3 buildings by the end of this year.
Oh, good.
So they're working to make that happen. We also, with the communication, in wanting them to contact 911 so that the, everybody would be notified when an elevator goes down or when an elevator is repaired. Now, today I received notification at 4:30 from the chief in East Carnegie that the elevator at building 600 had gone down and that the technicians were due there today,
You meant the second one?
the second one.
So they have new elevator?
Correct. And the technicians were due there between 7 and 8. So the communication, I seem to have worked. Now, I haven't heard from Mr. Cavey whether he has received the access that he needs. Whether they,
And they would also share, like emergency contact information for residents. that Would need help in case of an emergency with 911. And as soon as that address or name came in for a call, 911 would notify their emergency contact. There was a lot discussed. There was really a lot.
it was a good meeting.
It was a good meeting, but do you think, aside from the fire departments and getting access, do you think that a meeting would be a good idea just to go over the plans that they have in place, or do you think that
You mean with the other apartment?
with the other
complexes?
apartment complexes?
It's really a idea for your, if they feel it's necessary, based on that, they didn't think it was necessary.
I mean, aside from that, like with the elevator, or any other emergencies though? No, they did say they didn't think it was necessary. Okay, thank you very much, but it was a good meeting and I think a lot.
Just one thing from the first meeting at Cochran Hall, was that an ambulance and EMTs that couldn't get into the building?
Yes,
Okay, so did they talk about that at all? Just having a chain of command to get in contact with somebody if that happens again?
yes, they're going to Cochran Hall?
That was, Cochran Hill, they talked about that they have to hit the start key
Right,
for access.
They just made everyone aware of how to get in there. I mean, it's complicated.
What's interesting is that there was a time when EMS was on the access that they needed because it's part of the fire department.
Got it.
Now that it's a separate entity, they don't get access to the non-response keys. They don't get that. Which is really surprised. I would have carried over to them.
Would that be a big deal?
Can't think of a reason. I mean, the liability would have to transfer for the Knox box key, but I can't think of a reason you wouldn't want to do that.
But as long
I
as
mean, the other thing you do is always have fire respond with EMS, but EMS is going to get there first because they're paid fire as
Yeah.
volunteer. So,
well, they were willing to have keys made for the ambulance service
Oh.
to have.
Yeah.
And also the assistant manager lives on site. And she gave them the number and said if they need anything, they can contact her
Oh, good.
in case of any emergency also.
if she's not there, she could probably buzz them in remotely.
Pardon me?
She can probably buzz in remotely even if she's property.
With respect to ambulances utilizing the fire department's Knox box keys, one of the protocols I've seen put in place that helps with liability, making sure who's using it appropriately, is they call out over the radio, like, I'm so-and-so with STEMs utilizing this at 2:21 on a Tuesday, whatever it is. He's out of the box.
Yeah.
He's now back in the box so that they have it on record because that's recorded on transcript somewhere.
Yeah.
So then, who's utilizing the key when, how.
Well, the important thing is just to make sure that they're able to get into those other buildings and stuff. That's all. So if they've got that worked out. That's great. I'm glad that was all talked about. Good.
Right, that's all I have. And Public Safety Day is June 20th. And there's gonna be a lot to do there for families. And the new remote command center will be there for people to tour and get an idea of what
AM50.
our police department is capable of.
Yep. All right, great. Thank you. All right, standing committee report, Public Works, Nick?
We have the monthly report, Tom.
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. During May, we were quite busy getting the park ready, the pool ready, and all of the outside facilities ready for the spring. and everything went well. One of the issues, there's I don't know if you had an opportunity to read any of the items that I had in the written report. If they're not needed, then I won't do them from this point on. But if you find them interesting, let me know. Anyway, we filled the part-time positions at the end of May, and those folks started in early June. They're going to help us get a lot of things done. For example, painting the parking areas, painting the crosswalks. All that's something that they can help us out with, and it's good to have them in the fields too, doing the trimming and also helping with the cutting. We had weekly meetings with the engineer contractor to discuss projects that are ongoing. We did some pre-construction meetings during the month. The crew responded to many sanitary and storm issues, calls from residents. Meetings were held with residents throughout the month relating to the construction work being performed in Ward 4. And additional information is included in the written report.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom, I don't mind when you forward us the written report. It's good to have. Sometimes it comes in handy whenever I get approached by a resident. I can look at that, go, look, it's right here. They've been working on that.
Fantastic. I will continue.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we'll discuss the quote from 2D Mechanical Systems for the replacement of rooftop HVAC units 4 and 5 on top of the administration building. The quoted cost for the replacement of both units is $30,980. The quoted cost to replace unit 4 only, which is currently in need of active repairs, is $17,980. So this is a suggestion I made when I saw the roof quotes coming in to get pricing on this. Because with the age of these units, it's unlikely you'd be able to replace them with a unit of the same size, which means readapting all the curbs and everything that affects the roof. So if you put a brand new roof on now and you don't do these,
You're right.
you're going to end up going back and having to re-roof later within, the average age of HVAC is 20 years. So these are overdue already.
We're having parts that are needed for repairs that you have to have created by a laser printer or manufacturer.
Yeah.
Not that happens.
12 weeks down the road.
It happens.
That's what I mean. So,
Yeah.
so waiting for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart.
I mean, budget wise, are we okay to place them both? I mean, it doesn't seem like an extraordinary number, but.
Because we're not doing the admin roof right now. We're gonna be using that. Okay.
And then we have discussed the easement request submitted by People's Gas to locate a regulator station off Scrubgrass Road near its intersection with Swallow Hill Road on a parcel owned by the township. And looks like they've offered us 15,000
Yes.
for that easement.
Right.
We should discuss that amount. Anything else in executive?
In executive session, I agree with that. I was going to recommend that.
All right, anything else for tonight?
Nothing else for tonight.
Nope, okay. Environmental Committee, Sewer Committee, and MS4 updates. Jane, anything for tonight?
Yes, the EAC, Scott Township has been selected to participate in the local communities action plan for this coming year. And we will be one of 6 communities participating. The closest one to us would be Monroeville.
Oh, nice.
So, which is nice. They said that there is an introductory Zoom meeting with Penn State to go over, I guess, all of the things that we would expect to do, what they will be expected to do, and just whatnot. And I believe that Angela was going to share those details with Denise. And then she could share them with us, and anyone who would like to come to the Zoom meeting is welcome.
Great. That's exciting. Yes. All right, next up, Parks, Recreation, and Public Relations, Eileen.
Thanks, Stace. First is discuss the ordinance for business utilizing public monuments for tours in the township. Commissioner Sedlak put this on.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna work. Yeah, one of the things that up out of the Whiskey Rebellion thing that we're doing is, since there are so many different communities that have a different interpretation and take on it, but everybody uses mostly like the same thing. Basically, what I don't want to see is big giant tour buses coming in here, parking on Kane Boulevard and traipsing all over our property and then leaving garbage and walking out. So I didn't know if it would be worth it to be slightly proactive. To consider an ordinance for tour groups, be them for profit or nonprofit.
Oh,
It's just a discussion, and I mean, it's like being super proactive, like, because I don't think the Whiskey Rebellion is gonna get like a big coach bus ever. It could, Jane, you just never know.
I would like it to get. But
No,
I guess the question is, what do you have in mind for the ordinance to do? Is it to,
like,
how do you want to regulate? that?
Is it permitting? Is it?
yeah, to require a permit, to lead tour groups within the Scott Township, but really just like something that's just nominal to, just keep track of what's going on in our township, like $10 permit fee.
Okay, yeah, let us look into that and see what other communities have done and maybe give some ideas and then, have some discussion about that.
Thank you.
okay.
Discuss ratifying the hiring of the below individuals as lifeguards at a rate listed for the 2026 season. Lighton Fox, $15.50 an hour. Joshua Levenstein at $16 an hour. Clara Sensicek, and I don't know if I said that right, I apologize if I didn't, $16 an hour. Jalen Welsh, $15.50 an hour. Quinn Willard, $14 an hour, and Dylan Healy at $15.50 an hour. And we're gonna have to ratify these.
Any objections to that? Everyone good?
Okay, and lastly, discuss the swim club's request for consideration regarding chemical usage cost. We were remiss in putting this on last meeting. We did get an email on it, and I think Denise, had her get me the figures on what the last 2 weeks of chemicals cost. They're asking that we do not, if we can reduce the amount that they were paying. They originally were paying what it costs to start up the pool. But that's something we were gonna do regardless. We had to pay for those chemicals to start up the pool.
Yeah.
So they wanted to just pay what the cost for the 2 weeks of chemicals that they used to pull. And I think Denise has the total on that. Yeah.
Is there a cost to run the pool for that 2 week period outside of the chemicals though?
They are paying for that as well,
Okay.
so.
And then I guess the only other question I had, and it probably isn't, is there any difference in the startup cost? 2 weeks separate, like is it cheaper 2 weeks later into the season to heat the pool?
I think it's definitely weather dependent,
Right, separate, you probably can't really
yeah.
do that.
So it's 3,700 last year. What's it gonna be this year?
I think what I was going to propose is, hold on one second. 1,300. That's not,
That's not including heat though, that's just chemicals.
that's just the chemical.
So the heat would stay at,
Yeah, the gas bill still stays around $4,000.
Okay.
That's okay with the board.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Fair.
Fair? All right, I'll put that on for the end of the month.
And the only thing I had besides that was, again, the Public Safety Day and Touch a Truck is June 20th from 11 to 2.
Great, thank you. A library liaison report.
Okay, discuss allowing the library to use the community room on Friday, September 11th of this year for the library's bingo event. Put that up for vote at the next meeting if there's no problems. Any objections? If not, it would also like to use the library would also like the community room on Friday, October 9th, 2026, to host a trivia fundraiser. So that will be the second one this year. So without any objections, I'd like to put that up for a vote at the next meeting.
Okay.
And then just a couple quick things. board doesn't meet in June and July, but the librarian Gina asked to again reiterate. Summer reading program kickoff event will be held at Scott Park on June 11th starting at 7 o'clock. Summer reading is for all ages. This year's theme is Unearth a Story. And they're also involved in hosting a family story times on Tuesdays from 5 to 6, from June 16th to August 4th, an adult walking club on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 10, from June 1st, 6th, and a family time tie-dye art on Saturday, June 26th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That's all.
Thanks, Tom.
And Stace, I'll just put a little word in there that the 3 seasons on this slide are freezing.
Can't hear you.
You need me to say a
The
lot?
weather forecast, I didn't tonight before I came.
I'm prepared.
Well, I thought maybe it'd be a warm night out tonight.
It was really,
Freezing in here.
it's freezing.
Freezing in here.
You can hang meat in here.
You could hang me off.
Can you, thank you.
Better be cool.
Yeah. Right. Shaycog, Nick?
Discuss the proposed purchase of the EnviroSight camera unit from A&H via Shaycog cost sharing. Estimated annual cost of $4,426.30 for 5 years. And this is, I'm assuming the sewer camera, right?
Yeah, the sewer camera has not been working. We did get estimates for them to repair it. That came in at $35,403. The recommendation from the Shaycog representatives and the committee was to replace the EnviroSight rover. The cost of that is $89,469. They were going to do a 36-month payment, which brings us down to the $4,426.30 they're going to finance it for 3 years, but they're going to give us 5 years to repay. And that would be the
So
amount.
that's basically 2 years, no interest.
Right. So.
Okay.
And so they did a demonstration with 2 different companies, and the guys like the one that they're going with. It's most similar to what they had already used. So two different demonstrations. They didn't really care for the first company too much. I guess the equipment wasn't really up to stuff. And our guy Jamie really was not impressed. So they seem to be happy with this one, and it gets us paying for a buck.
Yep. Good. Okay. All right, anything else?
That's it.
All right, thanks. Standing committee report administration. We have the manager's update. Denise?
Thank you. We're creating a township welcome letter and new welcome magnet. We did this probably 20 years ago. Definitely need to update it. We have important numbers and website information that we're going to be putting on there. So the management team is working on that. We've also been selected by Business View magazine to be featured in their magazine. This publication is in the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. They interviewed Stacy, Carla, and myself. The article will be published sometime in June or July. Once it's published, I'll distribute a copy to the board and post a link to that article. I thought that was something that was pretty exciting for the township. Just an update on the agreement we had with Mount Lebanon on the use of the pool for the week. It generated $1,200 in revenue for the township. And lastly, our new and improved website is approximately 95% complete. You should be able to see that live within the next few months. The website updates include easier navigation tools, additional security features, improvement on the drop-down menus, and adjusting the site for better mobile access.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Any questions for Denise? All right, discuss the request from St. Raphael the Archangel Parish for a donation of a pavilion to be raffled at their annual summer festival. The festival will be held July 9th, 10th, and 11th. So unless there's any issue with that, we put that on for a vote. Discuss approval of a resolution authorizing the township's application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Strategic Management Planning Program to assist with the completion of a comprehensive plan with the township providing a $50,000 fund match. Want to talk about that?
Sure. In the strategic management plan, one of the recommendations was that we start working on our comprehensive plan. There is funding out there for this type of a project. So I have been working with the state, actually our contact, and he is going to assist us with obtaining this grant for the comprehensive plan.
Any questions on that? Well, good. Right, conferences and workshops, discuss ratifying the township manager attending the 2026 ICMA conference in Long Beach, not to exceed $3,000. If there's any objections, we'll ratify that.
Not an objection, but I just wondered, is there a lot of important information that you will gain? I know that there's been quite a few conferences. And I didn't know how much of this was applicable to us.
Yeah, ICMA, normally I bring back almost a book of information for everybody to use. We have proposed ordinances based off of the conference that we've had. Just the networking in addition. It's more of it's a different conference than what I think you guys may have gone to. It's 4 days of complete training and classes, and I could actually give you a copy of the book that we got last year, which was pretty informative.
Yeah, I just wanted, because when I went on and looked, you sent like a graphic of the speaker. And there was nothing.
That's just, yeah.
I kind of tried to figure out what the classes were and I couldn't see anything, so.
They don't have that posted yet.
Just informational.
Yeah, that isn't posted yet on their website. They normally do that after the June 10th, whenever they open it up for everyone to go and try to get the rooms. The reason why I'm putting it on now is I want to try to get in there and get that right away so that we get the best rate.
Okay.
For the rooms.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Any other questions on that? We'll put that on to ratify at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right, we're moving on to public comments on items not listed on the agenda.
Well, welcome back, Donna.
Good.
I told you I did.
You have a good tan. Did you go somewhere fun?
Just backyard, thank you. Yes, I missed you guys too.
Why don't you ever bring,
A few of you.
why don't you ever bring us muffins or something?
Oh, big. I just complain. You're looking at a horrible neighbor. My neighbor's cat is using my yard for their litter box. I told Nick about this, I told Tom about this, and Eileen is aware. Okay, what's my recourse? I've seen her twice. I have her cat on camera. She informs me that it's an indoor-outdoor cat. I said, there's an ordinance, the cats are not allowed to roam free. Well, it's an indoor-outdoor cat. I says, I don't care. It's using my yard with this litter box. And I have it on film, camera. What's my recourse? I told her, she says, I tried to do different things, you know, blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, she tells me I'm a horrible neighbor. And I said, I'm not a horrible. My neighbors know me. They don't. I'm not a horrible neighbor. To you, yes, because your cat's using my yard as litter. So what can I?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, Donna, you need to get in touch with me and show me what you, because as you stated, we do have an ordinance that the cats are not allowed to run.
Well,
free.
she's aware of that. She told me yesterday, I confronted her again yesterday, and she told me, I am aware that there's an ordinance. I'm like, well.
Give your evidence to him, and then he can issue a notice of violation.
He issued a notice of violation, it still continues to allow him. Then we can file charges with the district magistrate. pursue it in that manner. We have to follow this protocol.
And we can do that without involving. We can do that kind of anonymously. It's public now, but.
Yeah, well, I will need some evidence though.
Yeah.
What a bag poop.
Video, any of that, yeah.
Well, I can only show you if you're standing next to my camera. Because it's only a trail cam.
Oh,
okay.
But I do have pictures of the actual of the cat. But she's, so adamant that, I just moved in here like last year and it's an indoor outdoor cat. And I says, I don't care. And then she says, let me find it. And I'm like, well, here's the animal lover. How do you have to find your cat? Yeah, it's.
we had one at the municipal building last week. It was coming into the library.
Be educated.
I'm right, so I'll see them out.
All right, any other public comments on any items not listed on the agenda? No one online. Okay, we'll move to commissioners' requests. Dawn, want to start with you tonight?
Yeah, I have one. I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible. The board, I'm sure, has been aware of it. I know the chief of police is aware of it. I'm the fourth commissioner now that's had to deal with it, but I had a resident on Raven Drive. I guess he's concerned about the speeding coming down the hill. He was working with Angela, especially because of the one accident that they had out there, which I understand really had nothing to do with speeding. He lost control for other reasons, but it took out a couple yards and a couple cars. His big concern is that there's a lot of signage going up the hill with 15 mile per hour suggested speed limits, which aren't legal. The legal speed limit is 25. He'd be happy enough to just have some additional signage coming down, which I agree with. I spent 3 days up there, maybe 15 minutes a day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. My concerns for the speeding go a lot deeper than the signage, but that's for another day. So I guess, and I'm sure the board has been aware of it. Apparently from Denise, there's going to be extensive tearing up of that place for the scrubgrass sewer project. And I guess the board, from reading prior minutes, really wants to hold off on any permanent changes or traffic studies until after all the sewer work is complete, which I completely understand. But in the meantime, we need to do something. Maybe the guy would be happy with a couple more 15 mile per hour signs coming down the hill. So I'm hoping that, I know the next meeting is a voting meeting, but for the July meeting, maybe we can bring this up under public safety and discuss what we can do in the meantime until all the sewer projects are done up here and we can make some permanent changes. So anyone have a problem with that?
Good.
Dawn, in the meantime, do you want us to look at
Yeah, yeah.
signage?
I sent you that email and it's got some pictures and everything. And apparently the guy's concerned about there's only one sign coming down and it's like halfway down. And by that time, you've already built the speed up.
Okay.
Now the residents have these little things out there. So the problem is, and I find out it's not the traffic coming up from scrubgrass because there's a sign at the bottom of the hill suggesting that it's not a throughway. But when I went up to Oriole Drive, there's no signage up there saying so done. If you go up Oriole and make a left, it's kind of like a dead end. I sat there for like 15 minutes and 50 cars came down that one road. They're coming from Bar Hill Road where the hospital is, and they're coming down. It looks like all the traffic. And they just don't pay attention. The residents know there's a problem up there. But apparently all these people were coming through because there's nothing up there that says it's not a throughway. There's nothing that says hills and curves ahead, slow down or anything like that. So by the time they realize they see the first temporary yellow sign that says 15 mile per hour, they've already built the speed up. It's too late. People can't get out of their driveways. So it's gone on with Commissioners Caruso. I know Commissioner Calabria Jr. had the radar sign put up there when I was on the board last. And I guess he got temporary speed bumps put in, but they're no longer there. I don't know why they were taken out. The gentleman thought maybe because during the winter, but I don't know. But I guess we should kind of have to come up with something to satisfy these people to keep that speed down until all the sewer work's done and you can do your traffic study and safety study and infrastructure study and puts in some permanent fixes.
No, I think the temporary ones were ripping out of the road and they were destroying the road surface.
Okay.
You have to put them back in just because.
But I spent 15 minutes a day for 3 days, and the problem isn't so much that it's just people are speeding and they're coming from Bar Hill and they're trying to use that as a through way to get to scrub grass. But in any event, because most of the residents up there know there's the problem, and they kind of slow it down when they go down. And that's a pretty steep hill and it's got some curves in there. So there is definitely a problem that needs to be. There's vast car lines up there. I don't know if the police have ever sat up there and, timed cars or anything like that. I think Chief of Police Matt said they had done that a couple times, but.
Matt's ready to talk.
Oh, okay.
So if you recall, we did similar calming measures on Lindsay Red, Commissioner Edwards. And I don't believe there was a vote to it. I believe you just approved the additional signage and we did it. It was very simple because the signs are already there. We're just adding additional coming down, and I could work with Tom and Bert to replacement if it's okay with the board.
Everyone good with that?
Then at the cost of the 15-mile-per-hour recommended speed sign is minimal.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, that should make them happy until all the sewer work's done, and then maybe you can make permanent changes. So, okay, thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
Eileen?
Nothing.
Tack on to a little bit to what Don asked for. So we have 2 of the radar speed signs, the ones that indicate the speed. And I know we have the robust ones that track data and all that. Carnegie put a bunch on Forsyth and they are effective. I wonder if we look at, maybe not this year, maybe budget for next year, purchasing more of those. Maybe not, even if we don't need the data collection, maybe we can get cheaper ones that just indicate. But some of those with the red and blue lights, I think they are pretty effective.
Yeah, once you go over, it starts blinking at you.
Yeah. I actually saw one in Wilkins the other day that when I hit the speed limit, it said, "Thank you."
All right, polite signs.
We could look into that. Yeah.
All right, Jane, anything for tonight?
Nothing. Oh, well, the Conservancy has honey this year, if anybody wants honey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Sam,
Nothing.
Michelle?
I'm gonna need some honey. To add to the fact, I got, since our last meeting, I had 2 separate residents contact me about speeding cars on Spreading Oak Drive in the Oaks. And honestly, I was out 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. Donna, close your ears. Close your ears. There was a baby deer in my neighbor's driveway that couldn't get out of the driveway. And what I didn't want to see is some car fly up and hit it and then feel bad. Yeah, because it would damage the car. So, like the people just don't care. Like I'm standing out there and I'm like, slow down, slow down. And this one lady starts yelling. She's like, "I'm not speeding." I said, "I understand that. I'm just asking you to be cautious for a specific reason. People are jerks. Everybody's way more important than you." So that's why they speed, Dawn. But yeah, there's speeding in my neighborhood. So if we can look at the signage there, I've never actually looked. I don't even know what the speed limit is.
25.
25 sounds right.
But there's a lot of signs that say 15, which are not enforceable.
I don't think any in my neighborhood say 15, but I'm also a cut through because people will come down my street to get to Forsyth Road. So that kind of adds a little bit more traffic. And I do have that car that is still parking on Wise overnight. And I don't understand. They've got a driveway. I do not understand why they don't use their driveway. So if we could find out about that, that would be awesome. There's no other cars in the driveway. There's no need for them to be on the street. So that's my 2 concerns. Thank you.
Kathy, anything for tonight?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Chief, you weren't here at the beginning of the meeting, still wrapping up our stuff. We had a resident think about the parked cars on Somerville again, just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention.
They need to change the date.
Yep. We have those permanent speed signs or semi-permanent speed signs, are they rolling?
They've been working on it the past 3 days. They're getting everything squared away. They were looking at all. First one got up going to be Kane. And then the lady on Green Tree Road.
Wait.
Our brothers are family. We're still trying to decide. I'm thinking brother.
Yeah. Great,
Maybe look at Finley in the future.
that's exciting, good. All right, so unless there's anything else for tonight, we will adjourn the meeting. We do have executive session, but do not need to leave it open. So if I could get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Dawn, second. Lee, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.